Super pleased to welcome in one of the guys who is technically my boss when it comes to ESPN broadcasts, and that is David Antilley. He is the Executive Director of NSU TV, but more importantly for me these days, he is also our patriarch and grand poobah of the ESPN Plus broadcast. Davey, what's up, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing well today. How are you doing?
You know, we're hanging in, brother. We're hanging in. It's summertime, so everyone gets to sort of regenerate, recuperate a little bit. School's not in, and no broadcasts to worry about, so we don't have to deal with any of that. But first of all, kind of tell me about what goes on in summertime. You've gotten through the 100 whatever broadcasts through the course of the season. Soccer and volleyball, basically all home games for them. Football, men's and women's basketball, baseball and softball. We've kind of gotten through all of that. So what does the off season look like for you guys?
Well, first off, for James Stanfield and myself, it's a time to catch up on sleep and things like that.
Right.
But I know we're in the process of in Prather Coliseum, we're moving all of our cables underneath the stand so they're not out in the open, and we're working on some installations with that with Martin and his crew. Plus, we're also going to be providing links or providing viewership in the VIP booths at football.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can watch the ESPN broadcast live in the VIP boxes during games. So we're working on infrastructure, things like that. We're looking at, we're always trying to think of how we can improve stuff, how we can make things better. James and I will be sitting there bouncing off ideas from each other and trying to just figure out, what's the next level, what's the next steps we can do for our broadcast.
It's interesting. Back up a little bit because we've completed 2 years now of ESPN broadcasts for Northwestern State. The scope has gotten bigger. Went from simply doing the Southland tournament in soccer to doing all soccer home matches. Went from doing a few volleyball matches to every volleyball match. Went from simply football in the fall to all of that stuff in the fall. And then adding to that men's and women's basketball, which we'd already done, and then softball and baseball, which we'd already done, but adding bells and whistles and trying to improve things. I'm curious, do you have an inkling or a feeling for sort of where you feel like the production quality is with these broadcasts in the realm of other Southland schools, other schools at this level, that kind of thing? Because I've said repeatedly, I think that the broadcasts that are being put out at Northwestern State are second to none. I think they're better than anything in the Southland. I think they're better than anything at this level. And I think that they're probably as good, if not better, than a lot at levels above Northwestern State in the Southland. How much are you kind of paying attention to what else is going on out there?
It's funny you say that because when I'm not actually physically working a camera or in the trailer during an event, I'm on ESPN Plus, just watching other schools, trying to see what they're doing, things like that. I mean, I've watched games in the now defunct Pac-12, and I'm thinking, man, our broadcast is better than this. I mean, and I've watched other schools, and I'm like, oh, wow, they've got one lockdown shot for the entire game.
Right.
That's not hard. I think what makes personally, I believe our production quality is right up there with, some of the larger schools in the area. And as far as the Southland goes, I think, we're one of the best in the conference. Because I think it's all because of just caring. A lot of places, some places have production crews that come in, they set up, they do the games, they leave. They don't really care. They don't talk to coaches, they don't do any of that stuff. But our students and our professional staff, we care about how we look and what we're putting out there, and because when we hear from fans, they'll say, "Hey, man, y'all are the best in the conference. I mean, hands down." Or, y'all are just, I mean, it just looks so great. Thank you so much for broadcasting. I've had family members, "Hey, thank you so much for broadcasting it. We can't always get to the game, but we know we can always see it, and it looks so sharp." And so, there are places we can improve. And also dealing with students, there's going to be times where we're not at our best because, we're training, we're teaching, and, sometimes it might take a game or two for a student to get the swing of things. And so, but what we try to do is when we have new people, we try to surround them with some people that are a little bit more mature so that, we don't have 4 camera operators out there at one time that have never done anything.
Yeah, and you want veterans with rookies.
We try to keep as best the quality. Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting and it kind of folds into part of what I want to discuss is just, recruitment, right, is getting the word out that, look, if you're someone in Louisiana, in Texas, in Oklahoma, in Arkansas, Mississippi, whatever, and, you're a student and you want to get into sports broadcasting, you want to get into broadcasting in general, maybe you want to be on the production side. You'd love to be a producer for a big sporting event, or maybe you'd like to be a director, or maybe you'd want to be, the guy with the headset on, calling the game. I try to impress upon everyone that there's not a place in this area that will give you a better opportunity to learn than what you guys are doing at Northwestern State.
Yeah, and we're as you said, we've just finished up our second year, and this year, we don't have the official numbers because when they gave us official numbers, it didn't have April in there for some reason. But it was probably 90 plus events we broadcast. But now that we finished year number 2, we've started this year of getting students in some of the bigger jobs instead of just camera,
right?
Directing and replay and different things like that. And so our goal now for this year is to maybe start having some seniors or some students who have been with us a couple semesters to get into those roles of directing, like at soccer and at volleyball, and also some of those ones that are interested get into the producing side of the job. The side that's talking to the talent as well as talking to Disney/ESPN, counting down from breaks, going into breaks, making sure graphics and stuff like that are completed in time and up to date. And so that's our next goal, is to start getting students into that area. So hopefully by the end of year 3, there's going to be times where we just have an entire student production team where they're doing everything from start to finish, because that's where we want to get to. We want our students to get as much training as possible so that when they graduate, and they have those opportunities to interview for jobs and stuff, they'll be able to sit there with confidence and go, "Oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that. I know how to load graphics, I know how to direct, I know how to talk to Disney," all those little things, which should put them on the next level of whoever they're interviewing against.
Talking to David Antilley on the Pearl Restaurant Hotline as we talk a little bit about the Northwestern State ESPN Plus broadcasts and productions. And I was sort of elucidating this earlier about the difference between producer and director, right? Director is the guy that's literally calling the camera shots. Camera 3, get this shot. Camera 2, get this shot. All right, we're taking camera 1. Coming to you 2, be ready 2, you're on, that kind of thing. Whereas the producer is more driving the actual broadcast itself. As you mentioned, talking with the talent. Maybe the color analyst says, "Hey, can we focus on this guy? I have a point I want to make." And then the producer says, "All right, we're going to focus on this guy." The director says, "Camera 2, get that guy. Let's take that shot." The producer says, "All right, let's go." And then the color analyst talks. So kind of walk us through a little bit maybe about some of the differences between some of the spots that are going on in the trailer.
Well, we'll start with the director. In our trailer, we have we do like a dual position with the director. It's director/technical director. Technical director is the one that's pressing all the buttons on the switcher, changing cameras, doing the wipes into replay and stuff like that. And the director is the one who says, "Hey, 3, give me this shot, give me this shot." We combine those 2 roles because we are in a trailer. It's a little more condensed. And so the director is the tactical director all in one. And so he does the punching and the calling all at the same time. And like I said, they roll in the graphics by pressing buttons. James creates lots of little ways to get things in and out where we don't have to stress over that, so that's always good. Next position is the producer, as we talked about earlier, talking to Disney, talking to the talent, also saying, hey, we got a replay ready, director, we got a replay ready, and communicating. The producer and director really communicate a lot together. Mm-hmm. Next, we have what is our bug operator, and the bug operator is what puts the scoreboard up on the screen and, make sure that pitch count, outs, men on base, also puts in stuff like now who's at bat, who's coming up, the scoreboard at the end of the inning, different things like that. A lot of that information is fed by Sports Information, so we're thankful for them. We tie into their computer, so like when we get into like the fourth, fifth inning, we start putting what's called offers up, which shows what they've done during the game. So if they're 1 for 2 or 2 for 2, it'll show that and show their batting average and things like that. So that's the bug operator. They do a lot of the graphics. Next, we have replay. Replay, all the cameras go into a system, and it's constantly recording, and then you set in and out points, and you replay. If there's a big event or a big play, then we can look at that, and we can look at all 4 angles that we have at the game, because all 4 cameras feed into that system. So that's another. They also set up rollouts and things like that. Plus, with our system, they also roll in commercial breaks. Whenever it's a local commercial break, we have to play that out of our replay system. So that's on a different channel in the replay, so they have to make sure that's queued up and ready to go.
And by the way, Davey, can I just say happy holidays from Foy Motors to you, my friend.
Yeah, right. To all our friends, it's getting close to Christmas in July. But anyway, so that's the replay system. And then our last big job in the trailer is audio. And, television is one of those things. You can have great video, but if you don't have good audio, you don't have a show. Or if you have great audio and you don't have good video, you really don't have a show. So everybody has to work together. There's a team out on the field, but there's a team inside the trailer, and that's how we look at it. We're a team. And so, yes, sometimes things can get heated in the trailer because somebody pressed the wrong button or did something. But, we grow from that, and we try to improve. We always have meetings after the games and events, and we talk about my philosophy is we talk about some of the stuff that didn't quite go right, and then we always end on those high notes because I want the students to leave going, hey, feeling good about themselves. And that's what it's all about here at Northwestern, teaching the students what they need for the future. And right now there's no better place in the state for them to come and hit the ground running as a freshman. I've got a young lady from Byrd that's going to be attending Northwestern in the fall. She came for a visit during basketball season and wasn't going to stay for the game, but then decided to stay, put her on camera, and she loved it. And so she's coming back. I called her up during baseball season. I said, hey, we need some help this weekend. You think you can come down and help? She goes, oh, yeah. So she came down and worked camera at a baseball game. So she's looking forward to that. But, as a freshman entering Northwestern, if this is something you're interested in, all you have to do is contact me or James and come by our offices or see us at the trailer or something, stop by, and we will put you to work. It might not necessarily be in the trailer for like football because we try to keep that with some of our upper students, but we got soccer going on. We have volleyball going on. There's lots of opportunities for students to get involved.
Well, it's like anything else. You start, you don't go in at the top rung of the ladder. You start at the bottom rung of the ladder. You learn. And then as you go, opportunities present themselves. And, like you were talking about, right? We've seen students come in and then, next thing you know, I show up for a game and I put the headset on and, hey, one of the students is directing. Right. And that's cool. Like that's what it's all about, is being able to do that. And speaking of, right? Like I think one of the best decisions that Northwestern State ever made was when they were initially going to go to ESPN Plus, and the conference made that decision. And NSU decided, hey, we're going to do it right. We're going to make it a high quality broadcast. Well, you ended up hiring a student who had just graduated to be the ESPN liaison, James Stanfield, who we've had in the studio a couple of times. And that then becomes a guy who's now got a terrific future in front of him in the business. So to me, Davey, a guy like James is a great example of exactly what this program can do.
And when we were looking for somebody to fill this position, I went to athletics and said, hey, look, there's only one choice right now, and that's James, because he was doing a internship with Jason Pugh's department, and he was handling baseball streaming. And then that was where the go-between between streaming and the ESPN was right when he was here. And I said, look, guys, James knows what he's doing with the television side, but more importantly, he is big with the computer side. And right now, with all the stuff that's in the trailer and things like that, everything's computer based. Everything's you've got to bring in spreadsheets. I mean, I watch him do this stuff, and one time I said, James, show me how to do this. And so he was like, and I was like, okay, you're gonna have to slow down to like zero.
Yeah.
And remember that I'm ancient, and because he moves with that computer, and I'm like, y'all back up. Nobody have gasoline around because you're going to catch the trailer on fire because he's moving so fast. But he was a perfect fit for where we're at now and what we're doing. And just so you know, he just got his hair cut, so he's about 15 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
so.
I saw that. I was wondering if he was going to donate it to you.
Well. Hey, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'd walk home, my wife would be like, what? He'd probably call the cops. Seems like he's breaking in. So,
I mean, you might end up with more kids before it's all said and done. If you show up with James's hair on your head.
Yeah. Before we get, I have to pick a away football game. Anyway, before I get off here, I want to send a shout out to somebody
Oh, okay.
Jacob Johnson from New Days at St. Mary's. He's listening in, and he's trying to talk his oldest son, Andre, into maybe coming to Northwestern. They live in Hawaii.
Sure. But
he was trying to talk his son into that, but we'll see what happens with that. But it's getting back to the students and what we can offer. They can come to our department, which is the New Media, Journalism, Communication Arts Department, and they can dabble in a lot of things. They can work at the radio station. They can work with the newspaper, yearbook. They can work with NSU TV, which works with KTBS up in Shreveport. They shoot Friday night high school footage for KTBS's sports show on Friday nights. They can work in other areas like sports information, different things like that. So, and then of course they can work with ESPN Plus. And so it's a good opportunity to look in different areas and find where your niche is and go from there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The ability to cross-train print, video, audio media, the ability to get in there and work on the production side. My guess is as we move forward, there will probably be even more opportunities for folks to wear the headset and maybe do a soccer match here, a volleyball match there, that kind of thing. That this is all stuff that is going to continue to grow and get better. Davey, if someone is interested or they maybe have a kiddo that wants to get involved, what's the best way to go about getting in contact?
If they want to just email me at Northwestern, they can do that. My email address is Antilley D, which is ANTILLEYD at nsula.edu, or if they just go to the New Media webpage, which is nsula.edu/new media, they can find all the different teachers and staff in our department, and all of those have email addresses and things like that. And that'd probably be the best way, because I'm always checking my phone and things like that. And I return emails as quickly as possible, and that's usually I've had students email me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear my phone go off, and I return the email. They go, "You were up?" I was like, "No, but I heard my phone go off, so
Yeah.
it must have been important."
And last thing, because James is so excited to hear you talk bad about him on the broadcast, on our broadcast. Give me one James Stanfield story of a time that that you had to kind of rein him in a little bit.
Oh, let's see.
I know you have
Do we
many
have
to
enough
choose
time?
from.
No. It's hard because it's James is young, and so I guess probably the biggest thing I've had to work with James with is just dealing with the state. And anybody that's ever worked in the state for the state can understand this, but it's you have to go through the process. You got to go to this person and talk, and you got to go to this person and talk, and then this person's got to okay it. It's not, hey, I got a bid, let's go order.
Right.
There's processes, and that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, as far as everything else goes, that nothing really stands out. That and I always tell James, it's a whole lot easier, and you can get more stuff done with a little sugar than vinegar.
Honey, not vinegar.
That, I mean, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when you send out emails and stuff, thank them at the beginning. Hey, thank you for all your hard work and all this. And by the way, could we possibly get this done? I said, things get done a whole lot quicker when you go at it like that. And so, he's learning and how to deal with situations like that. And so I just but I do love to watch him sometimes whenever he's dealing with something, because he'll send me a text or something like, all right, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. Count back from 100.
The only thing, honestly,
we'll
Davey, the only thing that he has to really deal with on a consistent basis is me. And we all know how sometimes I'm not there for the open because I'm running around eating sausage, right? Like you just never know what you might have to deal with.
As Rogers knows, myself, and James, we could probably start a support group.
Probably should start
having to deal with you.
Hey, boy!
Yeah. Yeah, you probably should have a support group of folks that have to deal with me on a regular basis. Davey, I know you got to run. You got students coming in.
Pearl.
I mean, need something. Yeah, go to the Pearl and y'all drink your cares away. Davey, you're the absolute best, my friend. Quality work as always. If you want to go check out the new media and ESPN Plus broadcast in Northwestern State, nsula.edu/new media. Go be a part of it, man. I'm telling you, there's not a better crew that does a better job than what Northwestern State is doing over on the sports broadcasting side. Davey, enjoy a little time off, my friend. Enjoy your summer. Football will be here before you know it.
Oh yeah, we're getting ready for football, soccer, and volleyball, so we'll be ready.
All right, thank you, Davey. That was David Antilley, the director of NSU TV, and as I said, our grand poobah of all things ESPN Plus.